I hate telling you this, but it don't get no easier. Megan, you alright?
We wanted to take a minute to thank our friends at the bikerlawyers.com. If you're ever in an accident in Iowa or Minnesota, make sure to call and ride the recovery road with Biker Lawyers.
The itineraries are there. We were just doing some maintenance for the tour tomorrow, so it's a little bit packed right now. So
Looks like a nice garage that I'm envious
yeah.
Can I look through there? Yeah. Take a look. Wow.
Lo que me preocupa es la altura.
No, esta es la que bajaste.
No, está más alta, pero...
This is the one that is, the height has not been changed.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
Try this one to see.
Well, I have boots that have a bigger heel than this. So, I mean,
Look at this one.
you got it?
You're not coming. You're not falling here.
3 centimeters.
Yeah, that one's smaller.
But
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. So I've ridden the Pan Am, and it's like this. So I just ride like this. I just ride like this. I just ride like this, and then go. Because that's about how... Actually, this is probably lower than the Pan Am, don't you think?
I don't know. The Pan Am's 30. Sit over here.
with that and that.
I think this dry bag, you can put some of your clothes in this dry bag.
So guys, the plan was for us to, the first 2 days that we were in Costa Rica, to go on a guided dirt bike tour with Christophe and his team, which you will see more of in this video. And then Michael and I were going to take several more days on the Yamaha Tenere Enduro bikes to do a self-guided tour.
Yeah, there's not a bike I wouldn't ride.
I know you would care of anything we got.
You're telling me. Telling me.
I can't get this thing to hook.
Got you on a 2-stroke Husky. Megan.
You want to try this one?
Yeah, I'll try it. Just because the strap on this one is like all messed up.
And what bike am I on?
Huh?
What am I riding?
¿Con cuál va él?
Creo que ayer una 350 creo que sería mejor. La una puede ser.
We can try this one, number 1.
Okay.
I
Perfect.
think this one will be good for you.
Okay.
Number 1.
Number 1.
Fit you or not?
Yeah, it fits me. Why?
Way bigger.
Well, I'll put this one on.
Okay, now this one is mine, is big.
Big, yeah.
So, but if this one works for you, we can get him another one.
Yeah, yeah.
Either way, this one will fit me too.
All right. Yeah.
This 350.
350, yes.
Nice. Tire tubes.
Yeah, just in case.
Perfect.
How are you feeling?
Good.
Good.
It's all good. What are you doing with these?
I don't know, I guess they're gonna get the goggles.
Here, put those over here.
I hate goggles. But I should wear them, right?
Yeah. You gonna do them?
I mean, this is like nice. It's my
Roses. I didn't even see that. It's good.
Secured. But, you know.
Costa for you? First time?
No. Here in Costa Rica, yeah.
Costa Rica.
We've done the desert in California.
Oh, yes.
We did just one, so this is our second.
Like,
Second time.
tour like this. He's been riding dirt bikes for a long time, but we
Where
ride
do you live in California?
Maryland.
the East Coast in the United States.
East Coast.
And we ride, like, street Harleys.
Okay.
And then this a little bit. It's good. More better than mine. Yeah.
Do you speak French?
Nah.
Sorry.
This is gonna be fun. 2-stroke. Alright, so where's the helmet I'm wearing right now?
So guys, Costa Rica was an out of this world experience for us. Every part of it really stretched me as a rider. Michael obviously has a lot more dirt experience than I do and is an incredibly skilled rider, but I think that even he would tell you that he learned a lot on this trip. So, as I mentioned in the last clip, we started off the trip when we arrived in Costa Rica, going to check out dirt bikes and also enduro bikes. We were doing the first part of the tour on dirt bikes with a bunch of other folks that you guys just saw, and then the second part of the tour was on enduro bikes. So this is day one of our guided dirt bike tour. We were really fortunate because on the dirt bike tour we were accompanied by three gentlemen from France that ride dirt bikes professionally. And then Christophe, who owns the dirt bike company, who is a very skilled rider. So we were fortunate enough to have the opportunity to ride with them. This is footage of us actually riding out of the city. We flew into San Jose, and that is where we left out of. So this is us riding out of that area so that we could get to some dirt trails. We were really surprised riding through the city because there is a lot less rules than there is in the United States. In Costa Rica, motorcyclists are viewed very differently, and they are allowed to do things like lane split, ride in the middle of the road, ride on the shoulder, and other drivers sort of just anticipate that. So it was definitely a huge adjustment for us to be doing city riding with sort of different traffic laws. This is when we finally got to the dirt trails that we were all going to be riding on. And like I said earlier, we had 3 different languages in this tour. Michael and I obviously speak English. And then there was a number of folks, including Christophe, who leads the tours, whose first language is French. And then there was a number of people who spoke Spanish that were from Costa Rica on the tour. So we learned a tremendous amount, and we got some great tips from the Yamaha wearing folks. They helped me certainly with some dirt bike tips. This part was sort of a larger trail where we saw a lot of cyclists and some hikers, and in general just some families, and this was only for a brief portion of the tour in the very beginning. We had no idea what we were in for, but as you probably saw from the clip in the beginning, it got a lot more interesting. So if you follow our channel, if you've been a longtime viewer, you will know that in March of this year, we went to California and we did a dirt bike tour with Coyote Trails. And I can't say enough about either of the companies that have led the tours that we've been on. We're just so grateful to Christophe and his team, John Carlos, who was sort of the one that put this all together. You can see me slipping a little bit. So I will say this. If you know anything about dirt bikes, I was on a 2-stroke and it was muddy. So Costa Rica basically has, at least in this portion of Costa Rica, 2 seasons, the wet season and the dry season. And the dry season begins in December and I believe goes through March, and the wet season then April through November. So we were coming at the tail end of the wet season, end of November into December, which is why it was so muddy. So I did have some issues with slipping, riding a 2-stroke in the mud. But this was only a little bit muddy. You're about to see in a little while how muddy it actually got. Again, this is us riding through a different portion of sort of the trail where there was a lot of other folks there riding. And this was certainly different terrain than we experienced when we were in California in the desert, for sure. Here's everybody taking a brief stop. They were waiting for us all to get there. So something I experienced on this trip that I've dealt with before, but not certainly for as long of a time, is riding a bike that has a very tall seat height as a 5'2" woman. So you might have just seen me there sort of shifting my weight back and forth. And I could not touch easily. I could touch very tippy toes on this dirt bike. On the enduros that we would ride the day after the dirt bike portion of the tour, I could not touch at all, so I had to use the tripod method. If you guys aren't familiar with that, I'll try to post a link of a video that talks about it. As you guys know, I know Doodle on a Motorcycle has talked about it on her channel. She is a big fan of Jocelyn Snow, who teaches those techniques to shorter riders. So for those of you that are shorter, I'll talk about that later in some of our other videos. This is only part one of certainly a few. I'm not sure how many it's going to end up being that we're going to end up breaking this up into, but certainly lots of parts because we have so much footage for you guys. We might break it up with a little Christmas special in there somewhere because we try to do that every year on this channel. But yes, it was a huge skill learned for me, was riding a bike that is so high that I cannot even stand on my toes. So I got a lot of practice with the tripod method. This is where it started to get a bit rougher. We have some footage of us going through some absolutely beautiful things, both on this dirt bike day and then when we were on the enduros. Costa Rica itself was the most beautiful landscape, waterfalls, wildlife, just the foliage was absolutely gorgeous. But what we were not prepared for was the level of mud and the steep terrain that we were about to encounter. So I think that we will leave you guys here because this is where things get interesting.
I hate telling you this, but it don't get no easier. Megan, you alright?